Okay, let's try this again. That last video didn't take for some reason. So we're going to perform shading now, and I've done a little bit of prep work. I've covered the blue and the red lens. I just jammed a couple socks in there to block the light so that green is being projected out. On the computer, we've already generated the map. We've done the aim and the focus. And I'm going into the shade green choice and pressing enter, and it's telling me that center balance needs to be done. We did that. You should copy the channel. I already have a backup, and that's some parameters I don't normally mess with, honestly. And it says shading is already present. Reset green. I'm going to say enter yes. Actually, shading wasn't present. I just had a video fail, so I'm doing this over, re-recording this. Anyways, it's saying resetting aperture. Can't see it because it's too dark back here, but you can hear the motor clicking in the camera unit. Cover red and green. Cover red and blue. We did that. I'm going to press enter, and you should see a green flash back here. Yep, there it is. And now I'm going to actually go out there. Okay, so that is the unshaded 20 and the unshaded 80 and the muted video. Muted video isn't showing up very good on this phone, but there's a very dark green cast there, which is set by the ILA bias. Anyways, maybe you can barely see it there, I'm not sure. So it's taking photographs of all these screens multiple times, and it's adjusting the aperture and working its magic back there, and it's trying to figure out what it needs to do to take that center spot that we've already set the offset for. We've set the center to the right values for green to get D6500 Kelvin at 80% and 20%. And what it's going to do is it's going to compare all of the cells on the screen. I think there's like 1,024 of them, and decide if that cell needs to be brightened or dimmed. And it has started the process, and though it looks like a total random mess, it doesn't look like it's doing anything useful here at all. Don't ask me how this works. I have no idea how they wrote the software. It seems pretty strange to me, but this is shading. This is what it's doing. It's trying to equalize everything out, and it'll switch. Now it's doing the bright side, and it looks at the dim side, then it goes back to the bright side, and it goes back to the dim side, makes some changes, and it basically rocks back and forth, making changes on each side to see how it impacts the opposite side, and then it's doing some sort of a compromise, and it's going to get as close as it can. It sometimes does a really good job, and there'll be very little variation. Sometimes it does a poor job, and if it's poor, you kind of just need to go back and try different numbers, and try gray, D6500 gray, with different starting values, with different G2 intensities. You spend an awful lot of time messing with that, trying to get it just right. But so shading is processing, and it is getting better, and this camera phone really amplifies any issues. I'm kind of surprised the imperfections in shading show up better on this phone than they do in real life. That's surprising. That surprises me, but anyways, so it's still working, and it's just pushing through. And probably got another minute or two. It doesn't take terribly long. It's still working. This is kind of like when I was generating the map. You just kind of want to constantly see something happening. If it freezes or stops at all, that's probably a bad sign. It should only stop when it's done, and it's almost done. You can see that that's becoming much more uniform, isn't it? That gray or that dark corner is pretty much gone now. There's a little blob there, but I bet it'll fix it. Yeah, it's just magic, man. It's just doing its thing. Now, if you don't have this camera and this tool, you can still shade the projector by hand. It's very similar to the convergence operation. You move that cursor around, and you start with a big cursor, and you add or take away. But trust me, you'll never ever get it as good as the automated system will. Okay, so it appears to be done. That's the bright side, or the sensitivity, the 80% side. It looks pretty uniform. That's pretty good. I would accept that. Let's see what the computer says. It did work. There was no failure. If there was a failure, it would say cell at limit. Instead, it's asking me if I want to adjust sensitivity. Look at these numbers here. So there's an image number. Right below that is, there's a target number, then an image number, and a correction number. The corrections, the closer to 128, the better. So down in the bottom corner there, that